Oh, I love that tune, don't you? Hello, good morning. Which day of the week is it today? Is it Thursday already? So we're over the hump day, over the middle, and we're heading towards the weekend. Fantastic. How are you this fine morning? Whether it be 6 in the morning, hello. 3 in the morning, hi, you okay? Got one eye open. That's good, that's enough for us. Welcome to Crafters TV. Listen, you knew it was Crafters TV because you're here every single day for the time that we begin. We've got a fabulous, fabulous show lined up for you in the next couple of hours. Anything could happen, let me tell you. You're going to learn a lot as well. It's going to be like a bit of a university, never mind a masterclass. This is like a university degree that we'll have by the end of this show, or something akin to it, a little badge of honour that we can wear. Thanks to this young man over here, Craig Led. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning. How you doing? Yeah, it's Thursday, although I keep thinking it's Wednesday. Don't know why. Anyway, so hope you're well. I hope you're ready to go for an incredible masterclass. Yeah, we have got Over the Edge. So we've got 2 hours jam-packed full of Over the Edge. So whether you're going over the edge to the left, to the right, to the above, it's entirely up to yourself. We are going to do some colouring. We're going to be focusing on the classics. I tell you what, let's show you. Let's just move my cup of tea out the way. Let's show you sort of things that you can be creating. So these are, the first few I'm going to show you is kind of the idea, the concept as to the Over the Edge. So we have got this one here is the unicorn. Now this is the Over the Edge where it's been cut to, well, it's cut to my right. I think it's your left on screen. Then again, to my left, we've got the bear on this one, but you do get the die, so you could cut it on the right instead if you want, or of course, you can cut over the top. There's another flower one from Over the Edge. However, you could change it the other way around. You get all the different dies to go with it. What about larger cards? So we've got the fairy as well. So classic pens, TriBlend pens, sparkle pens, anything like that. Or why not use them in a completely different way? So you're actually using them to create an aperture within the middle. Whatever way you choose to use them, we are going to be showing you a good few selections over the next couple of hours, that's for sure. But, you know, holding the reins, of course, we've got Derek, and he's going to be steering me in the right direction.
Yeah, and sometimes that will be to the left and sometimes that will be to the right. And the exits are here, here and here. And just please be aware that your nearest exit may well be behind you. So buckle up because it's going to be, oh, actually talking of left and right, I see your tenuous link there, Craig. It's International or World's Left-Handers Day. Hand up left-handers, please. That is my left hand. I know it's on your right, but it's my left. So I am a left-hander and I do declare it is the day for me today. Craig, what do you declare? Left or right?
I'm right. Although it's one of those, I always have to think about it. So yeah, I'm right hand. So again, it's my right. So yeah, right hand. I do everything with my right hand. I know you were saying earlier on, some things you do with your left hand, some things you do with your right hand. So you've got a mix, but I'm definitely with the right hand.
Are you always right though, Craig? That's the thing, isn't it? And listen, we want to know, are you left, are you right-handed? Is it true? Let's read up as well on the internet, shall we, of some of the myths about, well, are they myths or are they fact about more intelligent, more creative if you are left-handed? I wonder how many of our crafters right now come and join us on the Crafters TV Facebook page and on the YouTube as well, and come and comment right now and let me know. I want to know the proportion. Let's survey our audience right now and see how many of you are left or right-handed, and see whether creativity, intelligence, whatever they say, there's lots of myths about left-handers being more or less this, that or the other. Let's see how true that is by taking a real survey of real people right now on our Crafters TV Facebook page and on our YouTube as well. Our social superstars will filter your messages through to my little gadgety thing here, and we will share throughout the show, and we'll find out at the end of it whether we're all left or we're all right, or we're somewhere in the middle. We might be a bit of both. Anyway, listen, let's show you what's on the show as we go over the edge. This is going to be one of those shows where we go over the edge as well, because we have got, as Craig has just shown you, I nearly showed you a trolley then, we have got amazing over the edge dies and stamps for you, and they are superb. Now, the bundle we've got for you on screen right now gets you 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 6 sets of stamps and dies. So I've got boards for 4 of them. And my favourite one, remember last week we were talking about International Cat Day, and thank you, so many of you shared on my Facebook page as well. Lots of pictures of your beauty, so we had lots of chats about your lovely cats. So the first one is called Feline Friends, and it's gorgeous. So you've got, oh look, Craig, see they've done one from the left, if that indeed is the left, and one from the right, and one in the middle. I don't know which is left or right on telly because it's upside down and backwards to me. Anyway, that's Feline Friends, which is rather beautiful. Some gorgeous stamps in there, including You Had Me at Meow and I Like Your Catitude. I like that, very good. And then we have your little paw prints, which are your little puppies here, your little doggies. Aren't they beautiful? Again, you can see one cut out to the left, one cut out to the right, and one. So they can almost be like almost sort of half peekaboo as well, can't they? In the middle of an aperture like that, as well as being left and right. I like this. I like this. Let me show you another one, which is beautiful balloons. Let's go and fly in my beautiful balloon. I don't know what the words to that are, but I know I like the tune. Balloons, remember we had those edgeable dies last week, which were balloons going up the side. You could have one of the over the edge on the left and the big balloon. Remember the one I did with Debbie over the weekend? The edgeable, you could have that one on the other side, couldn't you? Oh, amazing, how creative. And then let me show you another one, which is birds and bloom. So this is rather nice because you've got the little Tweety birds who are over the watering can. Oh, the watering can, again, you can mix that in with, if you've got Sarah's mystery box from HSN, that had a watering can and welly boots on it, and you could tie that in with this kind of over the edge as well. And there are two more as well. You've got Magical Wishes and you've got May Your Day Sparkle. Now you can see them all on the website as you shop the show as well. In fact, I've heard a bit of a rumour that some of you are shopping the show that's happening later on in the day as well. I don't know how that's happening. Anyway, yes, we've got Craig with us all day today. We've got a super cartload for you this afternoon. So much. I want to tell you everything right now, but listen, we have the whole day ahead of us, so there's plenty of time. So let me show you some samples, some ideas of the things that you can make with this gorgeous, gorgeous collection. £46, $66, I think is amazing value for money when you consider the versatility, because all of your stamps, see, the great thing is that in with your dies come the stamps that go with as well, and they're really, really good. So for instance, with the one that we're looking at right here, which is the which is Birds and Bloom, your stamps have more florals on them. They've got thank you, wishing you a lovely day, thinking of you, and happy bird day to you. Happy bird day. Oh, I like that. That's like, I can't bear to be without you, Craig. How good is that? So here is the little kittens, the little feline friends that are just poking out across the top of this. Now this is a stepper, isn't it, Craig, this one?
It is indeed,
a stepper card. Well, do you know, I'm getting there with the kind of cards. We're getting there. Everyone loves unicorns, don't they? And unicorns are so versatile. The way you can colour with them, I love the way that's got that extra little bit of sparkle going on as well. Really, really beautiful. Then you've got the little doggies. Oh, is that little doggy having a bath as well? In the old tin bath. Oh, now some dogs really like that, don't they? Some dogs really don't like that, do they? And then you've got the little fairy. Now the fairy is it in Magical Wishes, I think, isn't it? Yes. So there's your little fairy. I love the way the wings there have been coloured. Now, how's that been done? Is that metallic markers, do you think, Craig, on that one? Or is that a little bit of embossing going on there?
It could be either or. That looks as though it's
do you know what? I could look on the back, couldn't I?
Yeah. So
because lovely Jackie, who made the card, she put everything on the back that she's done. She's used the TriBlend markers. She's used TriBlend markers, but she's obviously added a little bit. Oh yes, I can feel the embossing powder on there as well. Beautiful. And I'll just show you a couple more kitties, and then we will get started with Craig. Look at this. Love that. So that over the edge die has then been put on some acetate through the middle, which is very, very nice indeed. So the whole bundle there of the 6 dies and stamps there, £46, $66. Now, these are also available on a multi-buy for you, any two for $20 or $30, so £20 or $30. And there's another one that we haven't seen so far, which is also in that bundle called Hello Beautiful. Now that's a lovely floral. And you can see, again, you can go left, you can go right, and you can go over the top on this one as well, or over the edge, as they are called. So you've got that one available, which is not in the bundle, but that's available in the multi-buy as well. So you can go and have a little pick around and play there. Now, of course, to colour all of these wonderful stamps that we're doing, we've got all of these colourful images as well, from unicorns to cats to dogs to this, that, the other, fairies and unicorns. You need a good selection of colours. So we've put together a really, really lovely bundle of classiques together for you today, actually. 66 pieces all told here, and I love the way that the classic sets, they've all been broken down into sets of 6, which is wonderful. So you've got your reds, yellows, greens, browns, blues, purples, pinks, greys, dark skin, shade and tone, and turquoises as well. Now, not only do you get the wonderful pens, but you also get the trays in which for them to live. You rearrange the words in that sentence, eventually they will make sense. But you'll get storage for your pens as well. And I love the way they've put them all into colour families because it just makes sense, doesn't it? Because if you're doing unicorns, for instance, you'll go straight for your pinks and your purples. If you're doing your cats and dogs, you'll want natural fur colours that just go with them. I love it. That's a brilliant buy as well, by the way. £90 or $115. So you are making a very, very nice saving there. In fact, it's a 30% saving on that bundle now, and lots of you are shopping that. Lots of other bits and pieces in the show as well. Like we've got to have some glue, haven't we? Absolutely got to have some glue. Now, is that the chunky glue I see there? Yes, it is. It is. It's the Collal 3D glue. And you've got the all-purpose there as well as a little bit of a duo and a bundle, which is rather nice there. £6.30, £12, not £12.70, $12.70. And that's all yours. And we've also got storage for you today, and these are so useful because I'm guessing as well, I'm just going to guess, but I'm sure Craig will confirm for me, this will store, so if I've got my TriBlends, will they store in this, Craig, as well, or is this just for the classics, for the shorter ones? Will all of my markers go in there, do you think?
So this one here, this is primarily for either like your classics or your illustrators, because the TriBlend pens are a bit longer. Obviously, they will fit in the wee holders, it's just the lid won't close over the top. Okay. So this one is more so for, like, say, your classics or your illustrators or, you know, your pens like that.
Brilliant.
There we go, there's a TriBlend.
It's honestly, it's like the team have read my mind because this is the one for the TriBlends because it is a little bit longer.
However, because this one is bigger, that does mean that you can pop your smaller pens, such as your classics or your illustrators, in them one. So if you can only go for one, then if you go for the TriBlend pen holder, it just means that you can pop your smaller pens in there as well.
Well, it's funny because when we were, I think it was Thursday, when we were doing Colour Me Happy with Sarah and lovely Tatiana, she was saying she loves the TriBlends because it means if you're going out sketching, you can take very few pens out with you and do an awful lot with them as well, which is really, really good. So I really see the sense in that. So you could take a few key, if you're going to sketch out in the countryside, for instance, take a few key TriBlends with you and then take your classics for the more detailed work as well. How good is that? £11 and $15 on that one. Now, this is very, 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 very important. And this all came together. Actually, we only relaunched this after it being out of stock for forever and a day. I think Craig and I relaunched this again last week, and it is here and it is back. And we saw some brilliant, I've seen some brilliant demos here on Crafters TV with this recently. And it makes complete sense to have that as well, doesn't it? Which is your 8x8 stamping platform with its magnetic base as well. And I hadn't really got the fact that we did 3 different types of stamping platform, but it was the 8x8 with the magnetic base that really held down your card with the magnets and made sure you got that exact stamp every single time, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Great for your layering stamps and things. Well, great for everything. And actually, Craig, you've got one there, haven't you?
I do indeed, yeah. So as you say, you've got the base, you've got the 4 magnets, such strong magnets with these ones. You can use this for all of your stamping, whether it's your large stamps or even your small diddy stamps. However, this is perfect for anything like Derek says, your layering stamps, because that means that you're going to get your stamp in the exact same place every single time, because the magnet holds it down and then your actual platform will get it positioned in the right place. So we are actually going to be using that throughout today's masterclass.
Fantastic. We've got lots of messages coming through already. Keep them coming through, whether you're on the Crafters TV Facebook page or anywhere you are on our social media. Our social media superstars will pop all your messages through to a nice manageable funnel of a feed in front of me. Sarah said, hello Craig, I can't wait for you to show these. I have them and I haven't used them yet. So that's really good. So you're going to pick up some really good tips there. Diana says, I'm right-handed, but my son and my granddaughter are left-handed. Anne says, I'm left-handed. Carol says, the left hand is the right hand. Oh, I like that phrase. So the left hand is the right hand. That should be on a stamp. You're quite right. Absolutely. Anne says, I'm right-handed, but I'm willing to let you lifties have a day. Seems only fair. Thank you very much, Anne. That's very generous of you. Sandra says on Facebook about the stamps, she bought them a while back and she absolutely loves them. Michelle says she loves the cat and the dog over the edge, but she really likes the floral one as well. So it might be a bit of a multi-buy there for you, Michelle. And Robin says, morning, Derek, awesome shirt. This is a new one, actually. I thought, because we had lots of different colours of classiques, I thought, well, I can't really pick one particular colour, so I'll blend in with a selection of classics. That was my thinking on this morning. And Craig is the boy in blue.
I was actually pointing at the fact I've got a new shirt as well.
Oh, you got a new one, have you?
New one. So we're both we didn't know we were coming in with new shirts, but we'll both come in just for you for this Thursday masterclass. We're both coming in with new shirts.
Wonderful. Right, okay, so let's go over the edge, Craig, then, shall we? We'll get started. Which set are you going to pick first? Is it cats, dogs, flowers, angels, fairies, unicorns? What are we going for?
Let's go for magical wishes. So let's go for the fairies. So, no, we're not. We're going to go for the unicorns. Magical wishes, as it would be, you know, go figure. So what we're going to do is let's bring in a card blank. So this is my one that I've got just here. So it is 5 inches by 6 1/4. So that's got my card blank. Then just halfway along, what I've done is you can either pop, now I'm going to, just so you can see, you can either do a pencil, I've got an embossed line, so you can either do an embossed line or a pencil line. I'm going to put the pencil line in just so that you can see. So all that I'm just doing is halfway into the card, I've just popped what is an embossed line or a pencil line that you can see there, just as a rough guide, because what I'm then just going to do is if I bring in my stamp set of the unicorn, so let's just turn this over just so that you can see. So you've got this really good sizable stamp. If you don't have the stamping platform, you've maybe just got the small 4x4 stamping platform. This will fit onto it, no problem at all. You've got all your additional stars, you've got your clouds, and you've got some really nice heartfelt sentiments as well. So what I'm just going to do is I want to have this just so that the unicorn is popping out over the edge. So what I'm going to do is we will be folding this bit back. However, if I fold that back now, we are going to get a continuous fold line throughout our stamped image, and we don't want that. Hence why I've put the pencil line first. So then all that I'm just going to do is, if I pop, if you're unsure of what stamp actually to use, so you can kind of use your stamp as a bit of a guide. So I know that it's actually that die that I'm going to want. It's that one matching that outside edge. So if I take that one, and then I'm just going to place that just roughly up to that pencil line or embossed line that you can see just there.
Does that mean, Craig, then you can go as far over the edge as you want? If you've got a nice long image like that, you can really push the boundaries and have a lot of it that's over
absolutely
the edge.
You can do. So for example, let's just say I've got just a wee bit of scrap card. I just want to show you. So say for instance you've got a piece of A4 card, or it could be letter size. So if you were to, obviously using your scoreboard, but if you were to actually score it in half lengthways that way, you can do an extra long card. So you could have a few of them actually just popping out at the side, or you can maybe have a few of them popping up from the top way. So yeah, you can do really long cards, you can do wide card, bulky cards. It's entirely up to yourself. You're getting the possibility of doing that. But again, I'm doing that within the middle, but you could do it more to the right-hand side, more to the left-hand side. So you could do it at an angle if you want. So many different ways in which you can do it. We will keep this one quite simple to start with. So we're just going to just pop that throughout the middle. And then what I'm going to do is bringing in my Gemini plate. So I've got the large Gemini here, but I'm going to just use my Gemini Junior plate. You'll see with this size of card, it would have just gone through the Gemini Junior and no more. So it's our wafer thin die, so it's our plastic shim, magnetic shim and top cutting plate. So we're just going to match that up to the Gemini. So what that'll do is that piece of metal that I've just put on, what we would call is a die, that is then just going to die cut that outside edge, and only that outside edge. So if we then bring this back in, so if I remove this die, and I'm going to be just a wee bit careful. I don't want to tear too much of the card with the tape. However, this bit is going to be folded back, so you're not actually going to see any of it if it does tear. So if we then just take that one off. So you can see there, so we have now got that die cut outline to the side. So what I'm going to do, so if I fold that back like it should be, like a normal card, just there, and then what I would do, because I've already got these scored underneath the pencil line, if I was to fold that one back on itself just there, you can see that we've now got this one that looks just like that. So let's just fold that one just there. So you can see now that then we're starting to get that shape just there with our card. So if you can see that opening and closing just there. So what I'm actually going to do is let's turn it that way. That was the right way I had it. So what I'm then going to do, bringing in our stamping platform. So we're just going to fold that back over again. And then what I'm going to do is let's bring in the stamp set that you can see just here. So what I'm then just going to do is, you know, you can match it up straight away if you want, or what you can do is I'm just going to bring that one on. I'm just going to hold that down just with my magnetic stamp parts, bringing in our stamping platform, and then you can just pop it on just like so, or what you can just do, I'm just going to just line that up onto the edge. So what I'm just doing is I'm just following that outside die cut edge that you can see just there. So then actually what I'm going to do is let's even make it easier for ourselves. It's all about making it easy as well. Let's just snip up to there now. So if I snip that one, and then let's snip down to there, just to that cut line, you can now see we've got that card fold just there, and then you've actually got what will be the outside of the unicorn. So now what we can do is let's bring it back in with our actual magnetic discs. Then what we can just do is bring in our stamp again. So let's just pop that already into place. And then again, I'm just following that outside edge of the unicorn. So I'm then just going to just press this into place. I'm just going to press so that stamp is now going to stick to the base. Now I know because of all these wee feet are going to sit precisely into all these wee grids, and having the stamp here, it is going to stamp perfectly in place every time if I wanted to. So,
and the most important thing about that from the demonstrations that I've seen so far, Craig, is that if you don't get a completely crisp impression first time, if you don't stamp fully first time and you need to take it off and you need to re-ink it, that it guarantees you're going back exactly to the same place, which you can never guarantee necessarily with your own eye, can you, in a block?
Absolutely, you're spot on there. So let's do that. So instead of pressing completely, let's just do a wee light press. Let's remove it. Now look at that, I've missed bits there.
It's very sketchy,
I've missed
Craig.
the top, I've missed round there. It's not my best work, let's be honest. So what you can then do, if that wasn't on a grid or in a magnetic stamping platform, what that means, trying to line that up, the chances are you would do what I do and just pop it into the recycling and start again, because I would. But because you've got your stamping platform all ready to go, it's all in place, the cardstock hasn't moved, your stamp hasn't moved, and the grids of the feet are going to go in the exact same place every time. What I'm then just going to do, press again, and I'm now again just going to give that a good press all over, and because that stamped area, those stamped lines are going to go bang on those parts that I'd already stamped, you know that you're going to get that crisp line, you're not going to get any fuzziness. Actually, even then, just there in there, I've missed the tip, so let's do that one. So it
back
is
in again
down there.
I'll quickly tell you that lots and lots of people are getting their stamping platform, because I think every time you see a demo with them, you see more and more reasons why, if you haven't got one, or even if maybe you've got one of the smaller sizes, and you're using it without that base that locates it, it's just the 8x8 that will go into that magnetic base. But the security and the accuracy that gives you, and remember, it's one of those things, and listen, like as a business, sometimes, like I even said to Sarah recently, like as a business, you do lots of tools that you only ever need to buy once. And that's unusual for a business. Do you know what I mean? Because they always want to give you, 3 months' time it'll be version 3, and then 4 months' time it'll be version 4. And so, like our mobile phones and gadgets and things, they're always going out of date. The stamping platform, it only ever needs to be bought once, Craig, and that's it. You've got it.
Exactly. And if you've got the 6x6 or the 4x4, now of course the feet aren't going to match into all of these wee pockets. However, you can still use this as a stamping base if you want, as a stamping platform. What you can even do, and what I'm away to do, is if I don't need to stamp this anymore, I'm done, but I'm just going to move just the magnets out the side. I'm just going to pop just a bit of cardstock underneath, and I'm even going to colour onto it as well. It's a good sturdy base. If I turn that up above, can you see, you know, it's a good 1/4 inch thick that you can see on there, so it's really good and sturdy. So I'm even just going to use that to colour in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Classique. So this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Pale Mint. So this is the BT1 that I'm using, and I'm just using the bullet tip. So it's a bit of a grey blue sort of tone to it, hence being mint. So you can see you've got the bullet at one end, you've got the chisel nib at the other end, and this is where your colour families of 3 works in great being separate pens. However, what I'm going to do for this one is all that I'm just going to do is, you know, with the unicorn being kind of white, but instead of just leaving it white, what I'm just doing is either with an ice grey if you want, or this pale mint colour that I'm using, I'm just doing little dots. All that I'm just doing is little dots right round the outside edge. So wherever there would be a bit of shadow, I'm just going to do a wee bit of dot. Now, if it was, say for instance, it was something like a horse or a dog or something, then anything else, maybe a snowman or something. If it was white, I would maybe use a light grey. However, because this is a unicorn, because it's mystical, it's magical, I'm just adding this bit of mint blue or light duck egg blue to it, just round the edges. So just where you would find any of the wee accents of shadow, I'm just adding some of that pale mint. So again, I'm just working all the way around, just round, not being specific, not being neat, nothing like that, just adding this on. And this is what gives the stamped image, which would be white. If you wanted your unicorn to be white, of course, a unicorn, you could have yellow, you could have pink, you could have purple, it could be sparkle, it could be whatever you want it to be.
You can go any colour you want to, can't you?
I think a unicorn and fairy, it kind of gives you permission to go all rogue, doesn't it? You can do whatever you want.
Completely. Cynthia said says on the comments on Facebook that the winged unicorn is the cat's pajamas. Oh, I think that's mixing up 2 over the edges there, couldn't it? Although, I guess with your stamping even on the kittens, if you wanted to give the kittens pajamas, you could do that if you wanted to. Karen say we both look very, very smart today in our new shirts. Craig, isn't that funny? It's just that time of year, isn't it, when you think, right, okay, well, I was looking through the wardrobe the other day and thinking, well, I've seen you quite a lot, and I've seen you quite a lot. That's the thing of being on the telly all the time, is you see yourself in the same things all the time, and you think, I need a change.
Yeah.
I need a bit of a change. And my car was in for a service the other day, and I went shopping, so I was like, right, I'll have one of those, and one of those, and one of those, and one of those. I've no money, but you know, that's another matter.
Got to treat herself.
Absolutely. Donna says, morning from Ontario in gorgeous Canada. Oh, I long to go to Canada. Absolutely long to go. I want to take... Elsewhere on TV in the UK, I talk about cruise holidays, and sometimes they involve trips as well. And the one that we talk about all the time is that Rocky Mountaineer train journey that goes across the Rockies, so you can see all of Lake Louise and everything else. If anyone's ever been on that, I'd love to hear your stories. And also, listen, remember, we're taking a straw poll on the comments today because it's World Left-Handers Day, and I do declare I am a left-hander. They say they're more creative. Is that true? Let us know in the comments.
So what I've just done there, Derek, instead of doing the 3 tone colours, I've just taken the pistachio, which is JG1, and then I've gone to salmon, which is CR4, and I've just used those 2 colours, and I've even just started to blend them in together. So colours you wouldn't necessarily think of blending, give it a shot, you know, it can work quite well. So that's what I've just done on the tail of the unicorn. So I'm just going to follow that on, and I'm just going to carry that on with the mane of the unicorn. I'm going to go in with the pistachio just at the base, and again, what we'd just do like we would normally do when colouring, I'm just doing in circular motions, and then I'm just starting off just with the pistachio, just maybe for this one going about halfway up, and then what I'm going to do is bring in the salmon again. I'm always at the moment using the tip, and you'll find that when it comes to doing a lot of colouring, you will tend to use the kind of like the bullet nip at the end quite a lot. Unless you've got a really large area you want to cover, then you might use the chisel nib. So then I've just done, just so that the two colours meet, and then I'm just going back in with the pistachio, just circular motions, and I'm just, it's kind of like blending them ones in just there, that you can see that one. So again, if I bring that one in, you can see that how we've just had to blend the mane and the tail in together. And then what I'm just going to do is, this is one that if you want a quick card but quite an effective card, this is one, because then what we're going to do is I've just brought in a selection of different colours for the rainbow. So let's go for the Meadow, we're going for the Meadow LG3, so we're going to use that one. We're going to use Amber, which is BO3. We're going to use that one that I can't say.
Oh,
can you say it? Cerulean?
I can't quite see it.
We're using a blue tone, which is IB3.
I'll look it up, Craig.
We're using red, which is DR1. And then we're going to use lemon as well.
Oh, I think it's cerulean.
Cerulean.
I've never heard that word before.
I've never either. Caught me off guard, that one there. But so we're just going to use kind of like the core colours there, just to colour in the rainbow at the side. So I'm just going to, let's just start. I'm not going to do it really in any specific rainbow colour or order. You can, of course, but let's just go in with the red. If you want to do any shading or blending when it comes to the rainbow, absolutely you can. You know, it's a lot of fine detail, but you can absolutely do that. Alternatively, if you have maybe got additional mediums such as your drawing gum or that, you want to do any of your masking, and you can have a couple of unicorns. You might want to have a unicorn and a fairy together. Of course you can do.
Craig?
Yes.
Drawing gum?
Draw in gum.
Draw in gum.
Drawing.
Drawing gum.
Drawing. Sorry,
like
did I say
chewing gum?
No.
Gum.
No.
What's that? Never heard of it.
Tell me. What it is, it's like a blue liquid, and all that you just do, it comes in a wee pot, and what you just do is, for instance, let's just quickly just say, so the unicorn, what I would just do with a paintbrush, I would just paint this drawing gum over the unicorn. I would let it dry.
Yeah.
Then what I could do is stamp another unicorn over the top, maybe to the right hand side. And then what I would just do is rub off the drawing gum, and then that gives you the definition of, you know, a unicorn at the front and at the back. You can do backgrounds, you can do multiple different ones. There is tutorials and that on YouTube and that, so you can check them out.
That sounds fun.
Pebeo drawing gum.
Drawing gum. There's a new one on me.
Yes.
Very
and then
good.
all that I'm just going to do now is let's go back to that one that I can't say. What did you call it?
Cerulean.
Ceruleum, I'm getting shouted at my ear. So what we're going to do, again, just going down to the cloud, and I'm not being specific. You can, if you want to bring in your watercolour ink pads, maybe your paint brushes, your sparkle brushes, you can do that one. But this one here, I wanted to start with this one because it's a relatively simple kind of card to make. So all that I'm then just going to do now, excluding the wee ink marks from my finger, you can just see how that is then just coming together. So just to finish off, what I'm just going to do, let's just bring in our platform again. Let's bring in this top cloud. So I'm just going to just place that one over the top, and then let's go for, we'll hold it down anyway to keep it in place. I'm going to pop, I want to have my cloud just to the top there. So again, even although if you've got smaller stamps, larger stamps, you can still use your stamping platform as a guide and as an aid. So I'm just going to stamp. So I know that that stamp that I've just popped there will stamp there where I want it to be. So stamp that on, and then we're just going to press that into place. So we're just going to press that one into place, remove that, and I've got my cloud where I want it to be. And then once again, let's just very quickly with that same pen, we'll do exactly the same. That's the one.
I've just Googled cerulean, Craig. Well, listen, we may as well. I did say that we'd have, you know, some kind of degree of knowledge by the end of this show. And I've just Googled other search engines are available. Cerulean, also spelt a different way, you can spell it two different ways, is a shade of blue ranging between azure and a darker sky blue.
Right.
The first recorded use of cerulean as a colour name in England was in 1590, so it's been around a bit.
It has, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It has it. Gosh.
Cerulean. There you go. That'll get you a good score in Scrabble. Oh, not that good a score, because it's got a C in it. That's quite good. But everything else is 1s and 2s, isn't it? Anyway.
So I've just taken my water reactive ink pad. I'm just neatening off these edges here. You would rub out your pencil line if you are using a pencil. So let's just pop that one in. And then what I'm then just going to do is I'm just going to add some of this colour. Now what you could do, Derek, is if you've got that Pebeo drawing gum, you could paint this whole area with the drawing gum. And then once it's dried, you could come over with the ink pad like I'm doing now. Then once it's dried, rub it off, and then what that means is you're going to get this nice coloured distress all the way round, but you're going to get a crisp, clean unicorn at the same time. So it really is a good thing to have in your crafty stash. So we've just added the colour on to that one there, just at the outside. Then I'm just bringing in some pattern papers. If you got our latest edition of our magazine, that is one of the downloads that is with it. So I'm just going to layer this one up just with our tape runner. Let's go all the way round.
Tape runner's back in stock in Cartload this afternoon.
I noticed that when I got my email yesterday.
How exciting.
So we're just bringing in just a couple of strips. I don't need that one, but I do need this one. So again, I've just kind of done a Z fold on this one. So just a bit of adhesive on that side and a bit of adhesive on that side. Then all that I'm just going to do is bring this one in, pop that to the base just there, fold it in, and I've just used one of the stamps, Magical Wishes on your birthday, and then there we go. We've created our card just there that's going to open up. So if I just open that one up, and then there we go, we can see we've got our unicorn card just there. So that one was a nice, relatively quick and simple one to start with using the over the edge. But what I've just done there, you could do it with any of the other ones that we've got on the show.
Lovely. Craig, I might need your help today as well, by the way. I've just remembered, because today is Thursday and it's my father's birthday on Sunday. And you know, I'm not quite at card making yet. So I might be after a favour. It might not be a unicorn though. Well, mind you, my dad's a man of the world, but he's 81, so I'm just not sure whether a unicorn's going to be right.
Maybe not a unicorn
for my dad.
We'll
think of something, won't we, between us? We've got all day. Quick favour, Craig, from one of your samples actually. Ursana on Facebook says, your little yellow mouse sample that you've got over there.
Yes.
Would you show her the inside, please?
Okay,
if that's okay. I think she wanted to have a little gander on the inside. I love the idea of that download, by the way, that rainbow download.
Yeah,
that's really, really
what
good.
else you've got. So with the mouse, what we've just done with this one just here is you could do this one with any of the over the edge ones, but we've just used the outside die for the coordinated stamp. So we've just cut out the outside, and then all that we've just done is using our ruler and craft knife or maybe a die, we've just then gone in on the inside just to chop away that outside area. So that creates an outside looking outside aperture card.
Yeah, no, I understood every word of that. Can you just open it up for us, Craig, as well? Because I think Ursana wanted to have a look on the inside. Okay, well, there you go. She did ask, and we've done it now.
That's why I wasn't going to open it, because I was thinking there's nothing in it. Why do you want to open? But obviously, I could see from here it was just a standard card.
There you go. Ask a silly question, Derek, and you'll get a silly answer. It's as simple as that. So there you go. If you want to know anything else, please get into the comments. Listen, I don't mind asking the silly questions either. And we're talking about left-handers today and whether they're more creative or more anything, more or less anything. Anne says, hubby's a lefty and he's not creative at all. Whereas Alex says, I'm left-handed and so is my mum and we're both very creative. Cecilia says, sorry I'm late. Well, just don't let it happen again, Cecilia. Let's talk about classiques right now, because we've seen some of them, including a name that lots of us had never heard of, but it's been around since the late 1500s, cerulean. It's a blue. In fact, your shirt is nearly cerulean, isn't it? Yeah. So maybe what we'll need to do in the back of Craig's collar, we need to write the word cerulean so he never forgets it. Here's the deal that we've got on the classics today then for you. It is 66 pieces in all as well. So you have got lots lots and lots of gorgeousness here, and they're all teamed beautifully together as well. So you've got 66 classiques plus the storage for them to go in. Now this bundle is beautiful, and you're making a 30% saving on it as well. So where it should be nearly £130, nearly $190, we're talking £90 or $115. And of course, I'm quite well aware that most of you are not even paying that price because of how far up Club Inspire you are as well. So you may well find that when you're shopping the show that your price doesn't come up as £90 or $115. It's lower than that because that's you going up Club Inspire, which is amazing, isn't it? It's always a good in it. That's not grammar at all. Erase that from the edit completely and utterly. We've also got some storage for you. This is a really handy, natty little case, isn't it? I really love this. I love the fact that it has the long handle as well if you need it. Now, I'll try and show you. It's quite difficult to show you something like this because obviously it's a dark colour, so it just looks like a big black void, doesn't it? But the great thing is it opens up beautifully and it's got the leaves there. Can you see? I almost need a torch to shine onto it. And there's lots of these little elasticated loops to keep your classics in there. So you've got that page there and that page there, and then that folds over there, and you've got another one there, and then you've got another one there as well. And the great thing is you can have it all out there while you're working with your pens, and then when you're done, you can just bring it all up together like so. You can seal together the one-touch fastening, and it becomes almost like a sort of a rigid case which stores away beautifully with a nice little carrying handle on the top. And you've also got a long carrying handle as well, so if you want to go for this as a little over-the-shoulder number on the way to class, then you can as well. £23, $31 on that one, which is very nice indeed. Now let's go over the edge again, shall we? Let's go over the edge and show you the full gorgeous bundle that we have got, because now seeing the first demo from Craig, and we've got more demos coming your way, by the way, for these as well, to talk about the techniques, because you might be a little bit confused about, okay, what's all this going on here? We will find out as we go through the demonstration. So here is 4 of the 6 on boards here. So you've got the actual over the edge die itself, which on this one is birds and blooms. So it's little birdies on a watering can with some flowers there. You do get a set of stamps with it as well, plus of course the dies as well, which is really good. So that's in your bundle, £46 or $66. You've also got one of my favourites, birthday balloons. Oh, now that might be good for a dad birthday card, mightn't it? It's got lots and lots of lovely goodies on the stamp set as well. Let's see what's on the stamp set. We've got happy, I'm going to have to take that off in a minute and have a little look. But you've got lots and lots of celebrations on there. Happy Cake Day, does it say? Oh, every day's a cake day, especially here at the Purple Kingdom. Every day we come in the main office, there's what's called the middle table. And it seems to be, somehow it's all organised. Somebody, my stomach just said hello, because it knew what I was going to say. Somebody brings in a cake, and there's always a big cake on the middle table. And an email goes around to everyone saying, and the title is middle table. So everyone opens that email straight away to find out what cake it is. Anyway, so here's paw prints. We're a long way from the middle table here as well. That's over in CCHQ on the other side of the street. So here is your paw prints with your little doggies in there. See, one of the little doggies is in the bath there. I love the fact that he's got a patch as well, so you could do him all in a darker colour and then have a white eye patch there, which lots of doggies have. You've also got feline friends in there, plus you've got the other 2 as well, haven't you? Which is your magical wishes, which is your unicorn, isn't it? Magical wishes. And you've also got May Your Day Sparkle, which is the fairy, isn't it? Which is very nice indeed. Let's have a closer look through all of them as well. Lots of people struggling to choose, so they're going for the whole bundle, because there is a multi-buy available if you want to as well. And there's one more that isn't in the bundle, that is in the multi-buy as well, called Hello Beautiful, which is a floral. And lots of you are loving that. Now, out of the ones that we've got so far, people buying individually, Feline Friend seems to be the most popular at the moment. Well, it has recently been International Cat Day, hasn't it? We've got International Dog Day, which is coming up on, did we say it was the 26th, I think? I can't wait. I think I'm in for that day as well. So that'll be good. We'll have lots of dog pictures on that day from you. But we had National or International World Cat Day last week. But today, listen, never mind cats and dogs. Today is the day for the left-hander, of which I am proudly one. Are you? Are we more creative? Let me know in the comments. Let's see if anything else has come in the comments in terms of left and right. Cynthia says, I write with my right and I print and paint with my left. So write with the right and print and paint with the left. Now writing with the right and painting with the left. That's like
magic.
That is like magic, isn't it? It is. That's really clever. Right, we've got a picture in from lovely Rose who's got these over the edge. Oh, now look, Craig. Look at that.
Look at that one.
Little bow there as well.
Exactly. I think that's actually maybe got a wee bit of sparkle within the wings, I think. But just adding some of the additional accent stamps on the corners and the sentiment. Love that.
Well, that's not the only one that Rose has sent us because she's got the little mouse as well.
Check out the colouring on each of them as well.
A little mouse with clogs on. Do you remember that
love
little
that
song?
shading, that blending.
Beautiful. Really, really lovely. Thank you, Rose. Listen, if you've got any pictures of the Over the Edge collection, get them through to us. It is studio@Crafters Companion. There it is. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. We would love to see your fine work. And when you send your pictures in, can you let us know, are you left-handed or are you right-handed? Because we're just taking a bit of a straw poll to find out if creativity and left or right-handedness go together. Well, in this studio, it definitely can't be true because I'm left-handed and I've not shown you any of my creations so far. Craig is very right-handed and so creative. Aren't you, Craig?
Thanks, Derek. Right, what we're going to do is, for this one, we're going to use Birds and Bloom. So we're going to use a different take on this one. So what we've got is, I've got a piece of cardstock. So it will be a card blank, square card blank, that will end up being 5.5 by 5.5. So what I've taken is a piece of our Nina cardstock, because we're going to colour again onto this one. That last demo that we've done as well was Nina to colour onto. So what I've done is I've got a piece of Nina card, which is 7 inches, and it's by 5 inches. And then just at a half an inch in, what I've just done is I've just scored down at each side. But then what I've also done it is 2 inches from the bottom. What I've done is I've scored, or I've actually done a pencil line right along the cross, right along the back. Just there.
It's all right. It's just the express train coming through. That's fine. It always happens at this time of the day. It's nothing to worry about.
We've just done a pencil line just there, so you can just see. In Scotland, that would mean that the fishman's here for his fish, or delivering fish. So we've got, Fish Friday. He would come round, peep the horn, you'd go out and you'd have fish in his van.
Oh, like fish and chips?
No.
Fish?
No, like
fresh fish?
From Aberdeen.
Oh.
Or Arbroath. So anyway, just in case you wondered what that noise, it wasn't that, but we've got.
It's not the fish man. Don't worry, everyone.
No,
it's fine. Put your purse away.
So we've just done that pencil line, and then all that I'm just going to do is if I bring in the stamp set of the Birds and Bloom. So we've got, just to say as well, you also get a wee booklet in each of them. So it gives you ideas and gives you measurements in all the different ways in which you can actually create your cards. Not just in English, we've got a few different languages in there as well.
Craig, just quickly, there was a QR code on the back there. What does that do? Does that open up a video or something?
So just give that a scan with a QR code, and what you can just do is it can just come up, and then what to do is Matt is actually just taking the words right out my mouth. Please don't be scared with the QR codes. You don't actually have to have a QR map. All that you just do, just go into your camera, and as if you're about to take a camera, hover it over the top and it picks it up, and it'll just say, do you want to open in Safari or Google, whatever it is that your phone uses. So don't worry, you don't have to have a QR code app. So
that's amazing, isn't it?
I know, technology nowadays.
Technology. Oh, it wasn't like that in my days. Everything was wooden.
So what we've got on that one is the dies. So what we're going to do is, you're going to see, is we've got, again, I wasn't sure if you quite see it, there is a light pencil line, so just 2 inches up from the bottom. So I'm going to bring in the stamp set that we're going to use. So again, a good sizable stamp, but it does go onto our small stamping platform if you want to use that one. So then, because what I want to do is I'm actually wanting to cut all this excess away. So I'm going to bring in the die that you're actually able to cut the top, which is that one just there. So I'm then just going to just line it up against the pencil line that I've got just at each side there. We're going to tape that one down into place. And what this is going to do, it's kind of going to give us a bit of a wrap. It's going to give us a wrap as well as kind of like a nice dome effect. And that will become clear just shortly.
Oh, can I just answer a quick question? And I think I can answer this single-handed, Craig, which is it astounds me. Who was it? Cynthia on Facebook is asking, can you cut out the whole image? Now, I don't know if you could see on this one here. I'll hold it as close to the camera as I can. Can you see that it will actually show you on the front of each of the die packets, it will show you the edges that it cuts, because obviously it's designed to be an over the edge die. So you can cut the whole of that left edge, you can cut that right edge, and you can cut across the top. So the answer is probably about 3/4 on most of the dies, isn't it? So you would need, if you wanted to actually cut out the whole image, then you could do that, Craig, but you'd have to do a bit of fussy cutting. So if you just wanted to stamp out the whole image and try and die cut it, you could to a degree, couldn't you? But not entirely.
Yeah, so I tell you what, this will literally take a minute. So we will just sideline, I'll just show you that one.
Sorry,
using the stamps.
Yeah.
No, because it's a good question.
Yes, it is a good question.
You can actually die cut most of it. So what we're going to do is, I've just brought in just a wee bit of that scrap card that I folded earlier, but this is just to show you. So this is the one that we're going to use, and let's bring in my stamp and my ink pad. So what we're just going to do is, I'm just going to do this bit quickly, because all that I want to do is just show you with the actual dies. So let's just stamp that into place. I'm not bothered if it's too neat, because again, this is just for show. So there is our stamped image that we've got just there. So then if we bring in the dies, so you can then die cut the top one. Now on each of the dies, the die cut edge goes right to the very edge of your die. So you know you're going to get that crisp, clean die cut all the way around. So that one would die cut over the top. You could then come in with the next one. This is where you need to have a look first, because obviously that would overlap. So what you would just do is die cut that one, then you can come around and finish that off. Now, to be fair, that part there, that is quite easy to fussy cut. However, if you do find it hard to fussy cut, you could come along and then just die cut the remaining part. Obviously not the two dies at the same time, but you would die cut that one, remove it, then you would finish it off with the next one.
Do you know, that so makes sense actually to what I just read Cynthia's full comment, and she says, is there supposed to be a tiny section that needs fussy cutting on them?
Yeah.
All, or am I doing something wrong? You're not doing anything wrong at all, but actually I think following this method that Craig's doing right now, where two might overlap, do one first, then do the other one, because of course you would never have them overlapping. Blimey, thank you, Cynthia, as well, because that's a brilliant question.
So again, you would never have all three dies at the same time, but there is all your dies. So as you can see with this one, you've just got a tiny edge. Now, that's not even fussy cutting, that is just cutting, I don't know, 1/2 inch.
Yeah.
So yes, do each layer separately. However, yep, they will actually die cut out. Some of the other dies, it might be a larger space you need to cut, maybe a smaller space. But yeah, you can potentially cut most of the image just using the dies alone.
And that's because these are designed because the dies are, I've kind of worked this out as well as we've gone along. That's why these masterclasses are brilliant, because everything slots into place, even for me as well, is that the dies are designed to either cut just the right side, so it peeks out over the edge of the right, just the left side, so it peeks out over the left, or like a peekaboo, where it just cuts the very top, so it's coming up from the card. Am I right, Craig?
You are absolutely spot on. And I think for cartload later on, I'm going to go to that side. You can come to this side.
No, stop it. Don't be ridiculous.
Although, just a wee heads up, Derek, I might have a demo in cartload that might actually do with for your dad's birthday.
Oh, really?
Just saying. But we'll wait and see. That's later on. Make sure you tune in and see what it could be. So there we go. We have die cut that top layer just there. So all that I'm just going to do now, just along those pencil lines. So just from the edge up to that first cut line, I'm just going to snip that away. So we're getting rid of that one. And then once again, we're just going to snip just along there. You could use your scissors, you could use your craft knife and ruler. If you've got a paper trimmer, you can use that one. But then there we go. We're just starting to get that kind of ribbon, maybe even like a belly band if you want to call it for your cards. So we're getting that effect just there. What we can then do...
A belly band?
Belly band. Or, you know, a belly band or a wrap band, something to wrap around your cards. You know, a bit like our wrap dice. Yeah, very similar to that.
Belly band, there's a new one.
Yeah.
Drawing gun, belly band. I'm going to have to get a little encyclopedia written down, aren't I, of these terms?
Now, your stamping platform is good for this one. What I'm going to say as well, if you do get your magnets stuck together, because these are really, really strong, well, I'm not saying you won't, you'll find it very hard to prise them apart, because I do. Just make sure, just pop them in your hand and just slide them away from each other. But that's obviously the sign of a good magnet, when it's quite hard to prise apart. So we're just going to...
And don't leave them in your pocket.
No, do you know something? I think she'll maybe actually give me into trouble for this, but our lovely Fiona, who I've not actually seen for a wee while. See, when we first got our stamping platform,
yeah,
and Fiona got hers, we've got a WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
And she put in the WhatsApp group, because obviously Leanne's in it, Leanne's the head of product department. She was like, can you tell me, why have the magnets got an M on it? What's the M for? What does that mean?
Yeah, I wondered that as well, but I wasn't brave enough
and
to ask Leanne.
Says, no, turning it around and it's 2 C's. It's Crafter's Companion.
Do you know what? I thought we'd done a bit of a deal with, you know, that fast food chain. I thought maybe they didn't need them.
You would think so. The amount of times these guys go to that fast food place in between shows, I'm telling you.
True.
So yes, it's 2 C's. It's actually the Crafter's Companion logo, 2 C's. But Fiona, if you are watching, I do love you. I apologise, but I had to tell that story. So,
well, listen, Fiona, you're in good company, because I wasn't brave enough to ask the question. I thought it would naturally come up in conversation. I won't have to ask.
Yep, that is it.
And it has now.
So what we've just done, again, this is now another technique where the stamping platform is perfect for this one. Holding it down with our actual magnets. Now, I don't know who had these last, but they never cleaned them. I'm going to blame Debbie. Good old Debbie. Debbie Robinson, that is.
Listen, I'm not telling tales out of class.
I would never blame Debbie Fisher for it. Debbie Fisher for anything. Took an inhale of breath there. So what I've just done is I've just taken the stamp and it's just matching that outside. I just love these over the edge stamps. They're so much fun. Matching to the outside edge, bringing in these ones, we're just going to press. So that's going to lift up the stamp. So that's keeping my cardstock in place. It's keeping my stamp in place. So I know that, like before, we can give this a good coverage. If we miss any parts, we can go back over the top with more ink. Sometimes you don't even need more ink because the ink will still be sitting on your stamp, but at least you have that versatility of being able to go back time and time again. So what I am just going to do is then just press. So pressing that into place. So it's Nina cardstock, it's our Finesse alcohol proof, our Noir black. We're going to just stamp that one into place. And then I'm going to remove that and I look at that one. Crisp, clean, stamped image, that perfect white shadow all the way round. Just because I cleaned that ink pad with my hand, I'm going to give mine a clean so I don't get my cardstock all inky like before. So what I'm then just going to do, bringing in another piece of cardstock because we're going to start to colour. So let's actually just bring that one was stamped onto earlier on. So let's just move these ones out the way. And then all that we're going to start doing is colour, bringing in our classics. So what I've done is we will colour 3 main areas for this one, and then I'll bring the one that I've already done. So let's go for the actual watering can. So classic pens, what I've done is I have brought in the blue-grey 1, BGR1, blue-grey 2, BGR2, and then we've done blue-grey 3, BGR3. Now, I don't want you to get confused with the classics. Just think of these as one TriBlend pen, but with the 3 tones in the one pen. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So the light is one end, the dark is the other end, and then your mid-tone is within the other. So that's how you would think of them, as like your TriBlend pen. So don't be too scared about 3 pens, 3 colours, 3 shades. You know, it really is straightforward.
Can I just ask you about your stamping? Because Linda wants to know what type of ink pads you're using right now, because she doesn't want the black ink to smear into the marker pen colours.
So for anything to do with your marker pens, you know, your classic pens, your TriBlend pens, you've then got our Noir Black. So this is our finesse alcohol proof. So we do have Noir Black, we do have like a brown, we've got a pebble, we've got a few different shades within these ones. So you can see from this one, and I'm going to use my pen to point, look at that image there, it shows you that it's colouring with an alcohol pen. So that lets you know that you can use your alcohol pens for this one. If you were to use your watercolour, then what will be is in between the next demo, I'll reach over and get one of the other ink pads to show you, but it'll actually be a water brush, and that just lets you know it's for any of your watercolouring, such as if you want to do blending with your ink pads, your sparkle pens, anything water technique based pens, you would use your pens like that, including your aqua markers.
Perfect. And actually, if you haven't yet seen it, I think it was last Thursday, we did an Inkpad 101, myself and Leanne. And if you're new to ink pads and you haven't bought any yet, purely on the basis of, I don't know which one to go for, do go back to that Inkpad 101. I think it was the masterclass on Friday, was it? Was it Friday morning? You'll find it there anyway, with Leanne on Friday morning, and it was just brilliant, because it was kind of like the A to Z of ink pads, and everything slots into place there. Once you know, use that one with that, that one with that, that one if you want to do that. It's tickety-boo, because there's like 3 or 4 different types, so we keep it really nice and simple. You know, there's a lot of places where you can go to where you can have, oh gosh, here's the menu, and you're like, oh gosh, that's far too bamboozling for me. With this, it's the right ink for the right job. And Craig, you've got what you were just grabbing for there, haven't you now?
I was, yeah. So this, I just grabbed what was to the side. So this is the flagstone, but again, we have these in the Noir Black and that as well. So as you can see, we've got the water brush just there. So that lets us know, with the name being waterproof, if we want to colour anything using water mediums, again, such as your sparkle pens, your aqua pens, you know, your water brushes, paint brushes, anything that's water based, then you need your waterproof ink pad, and it's got the water there. So you can see that one there. You wouldn't use these for, you know, your classics, your alcohol. You know, let's be honest with you, if you have only got this one, that's all you all that you've got is this one. If you were to use your classics or your TriBlend pens, you're going to get a bit of smearing and smudging, and that's not really what you want. So it really is these 2 ink pads. If you can only go for 2, go for your alcohol proof Noir Black, and go for your waterproof Noir Black as well, and then that just opens up the world of possibilities.
And they are very affordable as well. I just have to say that on top of that, because what you expect inks to cost and what they do cost here, which enables you to get a bigger selection of them, I think is superb. And I'm not being paid to say that. I don't get a £5 note every time I say something like that. I genuinely believe it, because when I do go to art stores and look at prices of various things, and I think, oh gosh, well, actually, this is kind of for inks and colouring mediums. This is kind of your one-stop shop. It's kind of all done, isn't it, for you? And you know that Leanne and the team have worked hard to put all of that together to make it right. Anyway, Craig, back to you.
So let's go on with the watering can, and we'll use the grey tones. We're using the blue-grey. So we're starting with the lightest blue-grey one. So let's just do the base of the watering can at the moment. So what I'm just going to do is, I'm just going to, again, circular motions. Now with the circular motions is you'll find that you get a nice, smooth flow of colour. No stretch marks, no crease marks, nothing like that. So all that I'm just doing again is I'm just colouring in. So I'm just going to go maybe about 2/3 of the way in. That's the way I always think of it, is 2/3 of the way in, and I do this technique exactly the same with the TriBlend pens. So I'm going about 2/3 of the way in, and then I'm just coming along the bottom just slightly, just coming up, circular motions, and we're just laying down that colour. We're laying down a bit of foundation, or even like a coating, for you to come along with your other tones and just colour them in. So again, from the left-hand side. So what this is doing, by doing it this way, is we're going to get that rounded effect, because we're going to get the light within the middle, and then it starts to get darker as it goes out. You could do it so it's darker at the bottom if you want, lighter. It's entirely up to yourself. Just have a wee play to start with, and just see what you like the look of. The more confident you get, the more that you will try, the more different shading that you start to try, the areas you colour and pick out. You try. It's all about building that confidence, and absolutely do check out all of our, whether it's our masterclasses or really anything on Crafters TV on YouTube with Leanne is worth watching. So we've just taken that light tone. So now we're going to go straight to the deepest tone, which is blue grey 3. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come maybe about a third of the way in. So I'm not coming all the way in like I've done with the light. So going in with the light first, that's given us kind of like a base for us to now set our colour over the top. They're alcohol markers, so they will bleed through to your cardstock, and that's why we tend to always colour on a piece of card, because what I like to think of it as is any colour that does bleed through, instead of it just bleeding through to whatever you're colouring onto, it's actually bleeding through onto your card underneath, and it's kind of bouncing back, and it's just feeding that colour back into your coloured image. So I'm just doing circular motions again. Like I say, maybe this time just roughly maybe about a third of the way in, and I'm just going all the way up, and we're just going to just go in. And it's always a nice sound and a good sound when you hear that wee squeaking noise. It just knows that you've got that colour just flowing really
That's
nicely.
when my volume goes down, because it sounds a bit like polystyrene to me.
That's true.
All
Yeah.
fine. Do you know, actually, Craig, I wasn't the only one that was wondering about the M on the magnets, or what we think is the M on the magnet. Ange on Facebook said, "Oh my gosh, thanks for deciphering the W." She went W instead on the magnets. I've seen that for a while, and I've always wondered. I wondered the first time I saw it, I thought, well, that's odd that they've put the logo onto a Crafter's Companion product. But as I say, I just kept quiet and thought that will come up in conversation one day. I won't have to ask the question. I'm so glad it's come up today.
Well,
it's CC.
Kind of glad that I've dropped Fiona in that one, because so many have learnt a lot.
Yes.
There you go, the things that you work out, eh?
Yes.
So
and do you want to know something else, Craig, quickly? It's apropos of nothing, although we are talking about left-handers today as well. I feel like I need to do that every time we talk about left-handers, just because I am one. I should have a big badge, really. I am left-handed. Because Pam says on YouTube, or she's commented on YouTube, should I say, she says, left-handed is right-brained dominant. So art, creativity, imagination. Right hand is left brain, so logic, science, maths and language. Decipher that. You dumbfounded, aren't you? I'll read that again later, Craig.
Yeah, when I'm not here. That's just blown my mind.
That's a bit much for this time of the morning,
just
isn't
a bit,
it?
I know.
Yeah, you carry on colouring, Craig.
So what we've just done there is I've not done any more than where we left off. So we've just gone round with the dark. So then what I'm going to do now is just where we've got that join of the dark to the light, I've now gone over into the mid-tone of the grey. So this one is blue grey 2, BGR2. And I'm just circular motions just over where that dark starts to go over. So again, circular motions, and I'm just going up to where I last finished with the lightest tone. So again, we're just going to go in just like that, overlapping, circular motions. And then what you start to find is after that you've finished doing this, after literally maybe just a minute or two, you need to just let that alcohol evaporate. You will pretty much see the actual blending starting to happen in front of your eyes. However, just after the alcohol evaporates, you start to just see it start to blend even more. So that's me now done the mid-tone. So I'm now going to go back to the light tone, and I'm just going to fill in this middle area. And just like before, just where that mid-tone meets the card, circular motions. So all that you're just doing is just blending that into your card. And I'm just going all the way around, just blending that in. And then we're just going to fill that one in just there. We're just going to finish that one off. And then if I then keeping in mind that the alcohol will evaporate. So we will do another bit and then we'll come back again and show you the watering can. But see how you start to get that roundness to it. So you can see, you know, straight away instantly at the moment, you can start to see the dark, light and medium, but it does start to blend a wee bit more. So what we're then going to do is let's do one of the birds, and then what we can do is do one of the flower heads, and then we can show you what it looks like finished.
Do you know what's just occurred to me, Craig, as well, is if you're starting on a multi-buy of the classics, because you're trying them out for the first time, so you just want to go for a smaller selection and a multi-buy of those, as I did when I placed my first order. It was only a few weeks ago, because you know I've only been here a few weeks, and actually I've got another basket which is pending that just needs checking out, by the way, because I was shopping a bit from.
Make sure you check that out, because
I will.
You need to make sure that you do that. It's not yours until you check out.
And absolutely, thank you. Well, that's me told. I will. I like people when they're bossy about checking out, because you do need reminding sometimes. Anyway, so I've done a bit of shopping from this show and a little bit of cartload shopping as well. What do you mean cartload shopping? How on earth could you possibly do that by going to the schedule and shopping the show where it says cartload for today? I mean, who's going to work that out for themselves if nobody tells them? Anyway, what was the point I was making? Right, yes. So when I first bought Classiques, I bought a couple of selections just to try them out. So I bought some TriBlends and I bought some Classiques because I thought, right, okay, because I need to know like what's going to work for me. And I bought a selection where I thought, oh, now they're quite muted colours. And my brain is working towards Christmas projects, because I think by the time I actually get going, it will be Christmas projects just in time. But actually that shading, I'm getting to the point, that shading within one pack of Classiques gives you those 3 tones of an equivalent TriBlend. So where you think maybe this selection here, for instance, I know you can't see it close, but it's the greys, and you probably think, well, okay, what can I do with a grey? I can probably do, a pigeon, and a cloud, or a grey teddy bear. I'm looking over the room. Craig's got his grey teddy over there in the corner, or a rabbit or something. And that you can do with your greys. But no, because you could do shading on a watering can. What is that teddy of yours in the corner?
I was like, what are you on about?
It's yours, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Comes with me every time, every show.
Brought it in. What's he called?
Masterclass Teddy.
Masterclass
Mr.
Teddy.
Mr. Masterclass.
Not what he calls him at night. Anyway, because they read stories to each other. Anyway, listen, we'll not tell everybody everything right now, Craig. We'll just let it out slowly but surely. Where were we? Now we're doing a bird now, aren't we? I wish you'd keep to the subject.
Well, I was doing a bird. I've already coloured a whole bird. I don't actually know. Did you get to the point of what you were saying here? I don't know. I wasn't listening.
Yeah, something about
Shut
grey.
off there.
Something about grey, and then a teddy bear, and then.
What we've just done there is I coloured in one bird, so I'll show you how I done that one with the next bird here.
Yes,
so all
please.
that I've just done is I've taken the light yellow. So light yellow, which is LY1, lemon, which is LY2, and we've gone for aniseed, which I wouldn't class as a yellow, but it's LY3. So all that I'm just doing, bit similar. I want to have that darker shades towards the bottom of, the bird, the chicken, you can call it whatever you like. You could be a hen, you could do different shades if you want. So all that I'm just doing, again, just roughly about 3/4 of the way up. I'm just going all over. And again, I'm going to come along the bottom, just about 3/4 of the way up. And I'm even just going to add just some in, just where you've got the feathers going. So I'm now going to go to the darkest tone, which is the LY3 aniseed. So I'm just going to come along, and I'm just going to work my way around, just following just underneath. And then I'm going to come along the bottom as well, just underneath there. And then I'm even just going to do little bits just with the wings. And I'm just going to add little accents just into the bottom. Then I'm going to go to the mid, which is lemon, which is one of my favourite desserts ever. It's anything lemon. So we're just going to...
I've got a real thing for limoncello cheesecake at the moment. Oh, ooh. Amazing, isn't it?
My favourite dessert ever is lemon meringue pie. It always reminds me when I use these classic pens. I know I can say this, what am I waiting to say? Supermarket I used to work for 18 years, the Co-op, at Christmas time, they do a limoncello. It's just basically like a lemon version of tiramisu. but it's all lemon and cream. Oh,
that does sound a bit
it
good.
does. There might be a little bit of alcohol in it, but you know, it's tasty.
Well, you know, it's Christmas, isn't it?
So whenever Class 6 tri-blend pens, whenever I colour with the yellow ranges, I don't know why, it always just comes to my mind. So you can see on that one with the bird that we've just done on there, and then even now you can see with the base, the watering tin can just there. And then all that I'm just going to do, before we wrap this around our card blank, I'm just going to bring in our pinks. Let's just do one of the flowers. Actually, let's do the petal. Let's do a pink petal. So we're going for Frost Pink, which is MG1. We're going for Bubblegum, which is MG2. And then we've got Fuchsia, which is MG3. So for, let's go for, as I say, we'll do a leaf actually. So I'm just going to come along. So if you're doing this, maybe a traditional green colours, just coming in with your lightest tone first. And I'm just coming up 2/4 of the way up to the top. Going into the deepest, which is Fuchsia. And then what you can do, you can start to experiment a wee bit more if you want. So I'm just coming down at the bottom there, but then what I'm going to do is just up to where some of those shadow lines are, I'm just going to add some of that detail just there. Then we're going to the mid-tone, which is the Bubblegum. And then again, we're just circular motions. And again, although this is really small, I'm not going completely over that dark tone lines that I've done. Just where it meets and no more, with the fine tip of the pen, circular motions once again up to the top of that light tone, and then let's come back with MG1, which is light. We're just going to finish that one off, circular motions, blending those two in, and even with that one straight away you can see how you've got that shadowing coming starting with the actual leaf. So you carry on doing exactly what I've just done, and then you will have one that looks like that one. So when it comes to those flower heads, I just used our orange tones, which is the round about the B01, B02, B03. So then what we can do is move all that out the way. Let's bring in our card blank. What I had already done before is I'd already stamped out some of these flowers that also come on the stamp set. And then what I've just done is just fussy cut them. So I've just stamped them out and I've just fussy cut them out. So we've got two of them like that. Then we can just bring in our tape runners. So again, a lot of detail with this card blank. We're just going to bring in our over the edge folds that we've done earlier. Add a bit of adhesive. So we can just pop them over the back. And then all that I'm going to do is come right down to the bottom of our card blank there. And I'm just going to fold that one over. And by following those measurements, because you can see it's a bit longer, but if you then start to pull and tuck that in, you start to get a nice board effect that you can see just there. So let's just press that down. Then what we can do is bringing in, of course, we need to do it. Can't do anything without a pad. Bringing in a foam pad. And we're just going to lift these. So these flowers we're actually using as little corner accents in the top. So popping these ones on. Now I've stamped onto our Nina with these flowers and then cut them out. You could, if you wanted to, just stamp straight onto your card blank if you want. Anything little like this, you could get away with stamping and colouring onto your white smooth cardstock. Anything with a lot of detail, I would always say to invest in the Nina. And I say invest, it's very inexpensive, our Nina card. And then I'm just bringing in the sentiment also within the stamp set. Let's bring in just another pad just there, lifting that one up. Now you can pop that at the bottom, you can pop that to the side, it's entirely up to you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to overlap, actually no, yeah, I will. There we go, undecided. There we go, thank you. So then there we go, a nice fancy shape card. So it's already fancy in the way that we've created that top edge, but then we've just created a board effect over the bottom as well. Nothing overly detailed to the card blank, but look at that. Just get your envelope maker and make a box envelope to pop that in.
Love it. Very, very nice indeed. Thank you very much, Craig. Lots more still to come as well. And I can't believe how quickly the show is absolutely flying away. Pardon the pun with the birds there. Right, let's have a look through everything. If you've just joined us, if you're late this morning, but that's okay. You know what? It is still the middle of the night for most of you in the US. even at 7:20 in New York, I would still be, half an eye might just be open. Let me show you everything that's in the show. We have got, of course, our over the edge dies. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're focusing on this masterclass as well. So any questions relating to the over the edge dies, you may have this character bundle already, then please do get in touch. You know, you can email in or get on the Facebook or the YouTube and put a comment in there, and our social superstars will wing it to here. So that's the full bundle there of those 6 dies, £46, $66, which is amazing value for money. We also have them on a multi-buy as well. I need 2 for £20 or $30, and there's one that isn't in the bundle that you can buy in the multi-buy. It's easy for you to say, which is called Hello Beautiful, and it's a wonderful floral, should I say. Wonderful. I have no idea what I'm saying right now. $11.99 if you want to buy them individually, or $16.95. But go for the multi-buy because it's such a good buy. It really is. And you've got 7 choices in your multi-buy. Then we've got the classiques, and lots of people. Who was it who said very recently? Carol on Facebook said recently, just a few minutes ago actually, this is a really nice set of classiques. I think it includes almost any colour that we might need, and I have to agree, because there's a really lovely combination there: reds, yellows, greens, turquoises, browns, blues, purples, pinks, greys, dark skin, shade and tone, and you get the storage trays in there as well for your collection. It may be a burgeoning collection, it may be a brand new collection. Don't go for big words today, Derek, that's the best thing to do. £90, $115, lots of you going for those as well. And I don't blame you, quite frankly, because that's a 30% saving. We also have the glue duo for you. That's not easy to say either. Are you just putting tongue twisters in this show today, Johnny? Is that what it is? It's just as many. There'll be flower forming foam in a minute. It's the Collol All-Purpose and the 3D glue, or as our Debbie calls it, the chunky glue. £6.30, $12.70, so a nice 20% saving on that. We have storage for your classic markers as well. You can get 72 in there. Remember, you're getting 66 in the bundle if you're buying today. That will hold 72, which is really good. £23, $31, nice 20% saving on that as well. And there's also a smaller version as well. So this will hold 24 markers. This will hide the TriBlends as well. Of course, it'll hold the classics and the shorter ones as well, but it's been specially designed for those slightly longer TriBlends. £11 or $15 on that. Of course, very popular every single day. Do you know, I think we could show this every 10 minutes on every Crafters TV show, and more people would see it. Every time you see a demonstration with the 8x8 stamping platform with the magnetic bakes, it just makes more sense. And remember, what looks like the McDonald's M on the top is actually CC for Crafters Companion. Other fast food outlets are available. And listen, if you, like me, and you want to be a little bit of a cheeky monkey and you want to have a little shop in this show, or indeed later in the day into Cartload as well, here's how.
Hi, I'm Joe from Crafters TV, and I'm here to show you how you can grab the best deals and shop whilst you watch during our shows. So the best way to watch us is always on Crafters TV. Head on over to our homepage and go to Crafters TV. You can see all of our shows, offers, and even shop while you watch. Now if you want to get involved and comment along, head over to our Facebook page. Come say hello, ask us some questions, and lol with us. Or you can watch us on YouTube. Simply head to our Crafters Companion YouTube channel. Got a smart TV? You can even AirPlay directly onto your big screen. We're constantly adding new and exciting shows to our schedule, so don't forget to check in. It's never been easier to have us in your living room. It's always fun here at Crafters TV, so come join us as we create every day.
That's how you do it, and that's how... I really shouldn't tell you this. I feel like I'm turning into Joe. Do you know what I mean? But listen, I am here to get the gossip for you as well. You can be shopping Cartload right now. You just go to the front page of the website. You know this already, I know most of you, but lots of people are joining us all the time. So you go to the website, to Crafters Companion, either .co.uk if you're in the UK, .eu if you're in the EU, .com if you're in the US. And there's a little round sort of tablety looking thing that says view the Crafters TV schedule, and that will bring up all of the shows, and there's a little button under, so you go to Thursday, and you'll see, what's this show now? Masterclass on one side, and then shop the show button underneath there. And in cart load, which is coming up later today, I mean, that's not for another, what, 4 hours, 3.5 hours. On that icon on the schedule, underneath, there's the button there that says shop the show. You can shop that show right now. I have.
Can I just chip
Yes,
in
hello.
there?
Yes,
Can
hello.
I just chip in?
Hello, yes.
Between now and cartload later on,
Yes.
if any of the products that I have spent hours getting sorted for my demos, if any of them sell out between now and then, when we come to cartload later on, I'm going to be at that side and Derek's going to be at this side because he can fill the products that we don't have.
It's very true. That could be a very long 2 hours, couldn't it? Mm-hmm. Very long 2 hours. Mind you, remember I'm left-handed. Maybe that might help. Who knows? Anyway, listen, back in stock. We'll worry about that later, Craig. No, honestly, you're such a worrier. This, our stamping platform, which is the 8x8 stamping platform with the magnetic plates and the CC. So it's not an M, it's not a W. Turn it on its side, it's CC for Crafter's Companion on top of the magnets. I think that's genius. I wondered as well. But I was just too polite to ask. I thought, no, I'll look really silly if I asked that question. I'm glad I wasn't the first. And I'm glad lots and lots of people know now. So that's a really, really lovely bundle. Now, sorry, I'm wittering on, but this has only recently come back into stock. I think, in fact, it was, what's today? Thursday? I think it was last Wednesday. I think it came back into stock, if my memory serves me correctly. Craig's giving me the nod, yes. So Craig and I relaunched it when it came back in stock last Wednesday. And I have to say, in that week and a day, a huge, huge number of them have gone back out. And listen, I know, and again, I shouldn't tell you this as well, but I was in the office this morning. I was in quite early this morning, which given many things is quite surprising really today. But anyway, so I was in the office and I was just tapping away quietly, and I could sort of, you know, you hear the conversations in the office, and I could hear conversations going on about how difficult it is to coordinate getting products into us right now because of everything, you know, because of it's 2020, isn't it? You know, nothing about 2020 has been quite normal, has it? So getting deliveries of products has been challenging, shall we say. So when a product like this is in stock, you only ever need to buy it once. Get it now while it's in your mind. £22, $26.50, which is the same price as when we launched it last week. Massive amount of the back in stock has already been spoken for. And there's loads of you in this show have got this. We've seen a couple of demonstrations on the over the edge dies with Craig, which has given you just another reason. You didn't need a reason to have one in the first place, but there are even more reasons to have one right now, even by just watching the masterclass itself. And listen, there's still time to get your questions in. We've got half an hour-ish left. So if you want to get any questions in through to Craig, just go onto the Facebook page, Crafters TV Facebook page, or any of our Facebook pages, or the YouTube, and the social superstars wing the comments through to here. Like Jan, who has asked a very interesting question, and it's probably one good one to cover right now, Craig, as well, actually. Could you tell me the fundamental difference between Illustrator pen and a classique?
So I would certainly say, certainly with your Illustrator pens, because you've got that Japanese kind of like bullet nib on the end, and that gives you a lot more of a softer flow. So if you're wanting to do, best way to say it is if you want to do kind of like flicks. So if you're wanting to do anything like far or anything that you've got that bit of movement, you've got that nice extra flicking action because you've got that nice brudge nib at the very top. Whereas obviously classics and that, you know, you can use for colouring any images that you would potentially use for your classic pens or your illustrators, but that is more the difference between the two of them.
Lovely, thank you very much. Any other questions about the pens, do let us know, and make sure that you are with us tomorrow afternoon. Now, who is here? It's Sarah, I think, isn't it, tomorrow afternoon? Or is it you, Craig? Have you?
No, it's not
It was
me.
down as a TBC, I think. Is Sarah in for Colour Me Happy in the afternoon tomorrow? Brilliant, brilliant show last week with Tatiana, so really looking forward to that. go and have a look for your downloads. Or we'll let you know when they're on, but there will be a download for Colour Me Happy if you want to colour along with us tomorrow. But that's tomorrow, and there's lots of today still to go, Craig.
There is indeed. So what we're going to do is we're going to use May Your Day Sparkle. So it is indeed a full day of me today, for sure. So what we're going to do is let's bring in the fairy. So I just think if two actually work well together, then it is your fairy and your unicorn. So let's bring this one in. So again, following the same lines as the other ones that we've showed you, as well as even the ones we've not had a chance to get to today. You've got your stamp set, and you've also got your 3 dies that work, so it can potentially cut out most of the area. But what we're going to do for this one is we're going to use this one so it's an over the top. Now look at the size of this one. So I've got a card blank here, which is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, so just under 6 inches. And look at the size of your stamp on that one there. You can see that, and it's really nice and detailed. So what we're going to do is keeping our card blank, so a bit like what I've done with the first one, you will see I've done a wee bit of an embossed line at each side, embossed line or a pencil line. That's just as a guide. So what I'm going to do is let's bring in our fairy. So we're going to position her so we can kind of get an idea where we want her to be. It's not essential because we've got that guide there for the die, and then obviously that's just going to fill in that space as it is. So you just need to make sure you've got the right one, which is going to be this one. So I can see that just by all these swirls that we've got at the top. So what I'm going to do is if we pop that one on, so I'm just going to have it just so that the end of the dies just meets up in line with that score line. Keeping in mind, if we did put that score line all the way across, once we finished and coloured the fairy in, you're still going to have that embossed line, and you don't really want to see that. So that's why we don't do any line embossing first. So let's just bring in our low tack tape. So we're just going to pop that one on, and I am just going to pop just a little bit because none of this card we're wanting to chop away. It's all going to stay in place. So I just want to use just a little bit so it doesn't tear any of our card. So let's just pop a wee bit there and then a wee bit just there. So we're just holding that down, bringing in our plates. So again, this size would go through your Gemini Junior because it's 5 3/4, but I am, let's turn it the other way, because I'm using my Junior plates, but with my large Gemini, it needs to go that way. So let's just run that one through. Could you imagine using these ones, certainly the fairy or the unicorn, you know, when kids' parties are allowed to properly happen again, if you wanted to make little name placement settings, have their names on them, or what you could do is you could stamp them out and you could let them colour in themselves. Don't know if I would give them my classic pens or TriBlend pens, but you know, if you get the inexpensive pens from, you know, the pound store or dollar store, then you can let them colour them in themselves.
Do you know what would be a good idea, Craig?
What's that?
Oh, this would be a brilliant idea. And I've seen this. A few of my friends who have children, they're so inspiring. The things they've had to come up with out of their imagination recently to keep the kids, you know, amused and busy and everything else, is you could make up a little treasure hunt, couldn't you? So you've got to find the next unicorn and give them clues as to where to find the next unicorn. And of course, the brighter and bolder those unicorns are, the better.
That's such a good idea. That's
Yeah.
really a good idea, isn't it?
I'd love to do that treasure hunt, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I'd maybe do that with my friend's wee one, Grayson. That would be good. He'd love that. Actually, so would Floyd, the dog. To be fair, their dad, Ian, would love that too. So actually, Jess would love it as well. You know, it could be a big family thing.
Well, there you go.
But
It's
you're
a
right
winner,
enough. You know,
a winner all round.
It really would be. So what I'm just going to do now is I'm just going to extend those score lines just right up to that die cut mark. So all I'm just going to do is bring in my score tool. So I'm just going to finish off that score line and then finish that one off there. So this is where, what I mean, can you imagine if we put that score line all the way across to start with, we would now be left with a score line throughout our image, and that's not what we want to see. We don't really want to see that. So that's why it's always important to just do maybe a score line at the side or a pencil line first as a guide.
Because remember, and here's the thing that we all forget to remember sometimes, is that when you give these cards, if you're making them as cards and you give them, and you know, and somebody, you know, the recipient says to you, oh, where did you get that card? It's absolutely beautiful. And you can say, well, I made it. I mean, they will look at that and think, how the devil did you get all of that detail into that card? We forget that sometimes as well. just, you know, the thrill of receiving a card like this, you know, that is that little bit more personal because you've coloured it in, you've made it your own, you've maybe done it in the favourite colours of that person or whatever it might be, they'll be thrilled.
They will be, they really will be, and they'll just be wowed every single time. Now, what do you see just down at the bottom here? So when I do background dye, or when I do background designs using my stamps, I always say it's important to stamp off the page because it can look really effective and look organic. This goes for any large areas as well, or large stamps. Can you see at the bottom there? It's actually the toadstools not quite covering the cardstock. That's on purpose. It's on purpose because look at that. I've got plenty of room in which I could have moved her up. But it just goes to add to that more natural organic feel. Everything doesn't need to be bang on your cardstock if you don't want it to be, you know, have it so it's free flowing if you want and just off the page. So what I'm just going to do is, because I knocked that, I'm just lining that up again and then using my large stamping platform and press. So if I lift that up, my cardstock's still in place with the magnets. I've got my stamp that's going to be in the right place. So still using our alcohol proof dye Noir Black because we're still going to be using our classics. So let's give this a good stamp and a good coverage all the way around. And when it comes to the stamping platform, any inks, whether it's distressing or stamping inks, you can of course wipe it off. So then what I'm just going to do, the feet all just slot into place and then I'm just going to press. So as I press all of that into place, just having a little finger dance with my fingers with the stamp, and we're just going to pop that one over the top and press. So as that's done,
there's a new one to
the remove that one
to my encyclopedia.
Finger dance, finger
dance.
Tiptoe dance.
Right.
You know, it's just your pressure, but you know, not a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So what I'm then just going to do is, you can see we've now got that stamped image all nicely done. So let's just remove these magnets for now. I'm going to bring in my cardstock. So what I'm just going to do is bringing in my card so I can sit on. I've got a selection of colours. So let's go for the fairies here. So let's go for our kind of like our lilac tone. So what I've done is I've got lilac, which is HB1, hydrangea, which is HB2, and I've got heather, which is HB3. So let's just go in with the lightest one first. So all that I'm just going to kind of do, so with here, I'm just going to work my way along the top just with the lightest tone, and then again just kind of following that same action that I had been doing previous. I'm just going to come to the left hand side. We're just going to do that lightest tone because what I want to do is I want to have a lot of the darker tone towards the back of her hair. So I'm just going to colour this in, following kind of like my steps that I usually do, working my way about 2/4 of the way across. So we're just going to colour that one in. Now, if you were to use anything like your Illustrator pens or that, this is when you can start to get the weave and the brush lines of her hair. You're getting that flowing movement. That would work really well too. So I'm just going to just finish there. Then I'm now going to go straight to my dark tone, which is the heather, which is HB3. And then again, I'm just going to just come along the outside edge. So this is really keeping our three-tone blending really simple. You can, as you get more confident, maybe more experienced, you start to do all these different techniques that Leanne showed you in previous shows, even Sarah showed you. Lots of inspiration from the design team out there. So I'm just going to just finish that one with the deep tone. Then we're going to the mid-tone, which is hydrangea, HB2. And then I'm just going to just over the top, just where that dark tone meets the light, circular motions, we're just going to blend them in. So we're just blending them in together. And then this is where what you'll find is once the alcohol evaporates, we're starting to get that darker tone from the left-hand side of our hair, and it starts to get lighter as it begins to move towards the front of our body. So I'm just going to go over my light tone with my mid-tone. And then once we've got down to there, what we can do is then come back with the light tone and just finish it off. So going back to the lilac, and then once again, just where that mid-tone meets, we're just going to colour that in, blend the two in, and I'm just going to finish right up to the edge on that one just there. What I am just going to do is I'm going to go back to the medium tone. I can get my lid on. Go back to the medium tone, which is HB2. I'm just going to blend in the dark in the mid just that wee bit more. So just blending them in.
What do you think she's wishing for, Craig?
I don't know. What could it be? What could it be?
That could be the lottery
for
numbers.
A better year next year, maybe.
That's right. She's looking for 2021.
I think so. So now what I'm going to do is let's go on to the wing. So within all of these parts, so let's do a couple. Let's bring the lilacs in again. So what I'm going to do is all of these wee parts just within the middle. So just following what I've been doing throughout at masterclass, let's start at the base just with the light tone. So we've gone about 3/4 of the way up. So let's go into the deep tone now. And we're just going to come just up to about 1/3 of the way. And then we can go back to our mid-tone. We're just going to finish that off just where the light and the dark meet. And we're just going to colour. And then we're going to finish that one off with the light tone. So what you'll find when it comes to colouring is you get completely lost in a world of your own. You know, you start thinking of, you know, either what you're going to be doing the next couple of days, or it can be completely on crafting, what you're going to create with said product that you're using. Or what you can just do is just, you know, zone out. It's a nice relaxing thing to do because you can just forget about everything that's going on. You know, you can either colour in silence, have the music on. It's really, really therapeutic. Of course, you won't be colouring and talking like I'm doing, which, Derek, I have to admit, I'm quite surprised at myself. I usually do what Sarah does and kind of just zones out when I'm colouring. I forget to talk. It's like, oh yeah, Craig, you need to talk, don't you? So I think I've done actually not bad.
You have.
By colouring and
you have. It's almost like you're on autopilot today,
It is, isn't it? So what I'm just going to do, Derek, just before I go back to you, is, so I'm just finishing this one here, and then all that I'm just going to do for the outside area, all that I would just do, when I say outside, I mean all this outside detail. All that I'm just going to do is I'm going to go to kind of like my teal range. So it's the pistachio, which is JG1, sea spray, which is JG2, and marine, which is JG3. But what I'm actually just going to do is I'm just going to use the mid-tone, which is the JG2. So all that I'm just going to do is just fill in all the detail. You can do the blending detail if you want. It's entirely up to yourself. You don't have to, like I'm doing here. I'm just using that one tone, but it's just to show you that you can use them to blend with or just use the one tone as they are.
Do you know, Craig, I was just thinking, you read out the names and the codes of the colours so beautifully. We could get you a little side gig. Like I'm turning myself into your agent right now, and I could get you one of those little side gigs. You know, when you get on a train here in the UK, I don't know what it's like in the US, but when you get on a train in the UK, let's say we're going from Newton Aycliffe to Edinburgh, let's say, which is north in Scotland. You have an announcement that comes into the carriage to say, "Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 12:45 blah blah train to Edinburgh, calling at Newcastle,
Haymarket,
yes.
Edinburgh, Waverley,
yes, exactly."
Perth, Dundee.
So I think we could get Craig a little, because he's good at that kind of thing, isn't he?
Do you know, so I've never
That'd be
thought the number of people that have said on social media that, you know how you get these celebrities, I think like Matthew McConaughey, you know when they just read books, they read like books, audio books, and people just fall asleep to them. They said I should read books. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, I'd listen to your voice. I was like, okay, never thought of that before, but so there we go.
That's a good idea, isn't it?
You know, never, you know, I don't know, Crafter's Companion audiobooks.
Hey, do you know what? I've just had another idea, Craig. You know, you were talking about the instruction book that comes with the dies and how you could point your camera at it and it opens the QR code. If that opened up to you reading the instruction booklet you know, in that, so you'll be sat on your nice, I've got the picture now, sat in my nice big comfortable chair with the lap desk there, ready to start. I've done my die cuttings, I'm ready to start with my colouring or whatever. And Craig reads the instruction. Right, now this is how it could be.
Oh no, I hate reading live.
We're going to have, should we not look at you while you're doing it?
So it's just a normal, right, yo.
Yeah, go on.
To add a decorative edge to the right-hand edge
Oh no,
of
that
the card
sounds
design.
too formal, Craig. No, you need to relax a bit. You need to, like you were on Crafters TV, you need to do it like that, don't you? You need to do just your normal, you know, upbeat, happy Craig.
Okay.
Okay, go on. Try again. Take two.
I need to lift this up.
And cue.
To add an edge to the decorative edge of the right-hand edge of the card, what you need to do, step 1, crease fold a piece of cardstock at 4 by 6 inches. To create a card base, to create a card at 4 by 6 inches. I'm going to start that one again.
Yeah, no, I think we need to see you at the same time, isn't it? It doesn't work with just words, does it?
Place the appropriate die on the front of the card as shown and secure it using your low-tack tape before feeding it through your die cutting machine.
I think, do you know what? I think it's going to have to be in your own words, Craig.
I think so.
I think reading somebody else's words is not for you.
I can't do it.
I think you need to create it from the heart. Now, sorry, where were we with all of that? Apart from, do I get 10%, by the way, if I get you a little bit? Is 10% the going rate these days?
If you can bring in the millions, then of course.
Okay, well, listen, if it's millions, then I'm negotiating that 10% to something a little higher, I think.
So I've just moved right down to the base. So I want to show you a couple of different colour tones. So we've gone from obviously the lilacs to the teals. And then what I'm just doing, just with the toadstool, we've gone for the natural brown EB2. Let's start that again because I had them in the wrong order. So we've got sand EB1, we've got natural brown EB2, and then we've got cocoa, which is EB3. So I just started at each edge again. So let's just...
So even the classics are kind of coded in that way, because you might think, and I keep hearing all these codes and everything else, but if you're in the same colour family and it is EB1, EB2, EB3, that would be the equivalent of one TriBlend, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
So you can follow the same kind of formatting as that, which is, I mean, it makes it, you know, I don't like to use the word foolproof because nobody's a fool. Everyone discovers at their own rate. But it's kind of like that guiding hand. You know, when Craig isn't there to say, okay, well, this, and this, that you can pick up your pens no matter how big or small your selection and go, right, I get it. Okay, so that's AB1 and AB2 and AB3, and they will all work together if I want to do my shading in that particular colour family.
Absolutely.
It's simple. Simple yet professional, Craig.
It is. It really is. And because if you've got them situated in your pen holder, then instantly, straight away, not only can you see the colour name, you've also can see the actual code if you need to follow it. Because if I am stamping anything at home and colouring it, 9 times out of 10, I don't always go by the colour code. If I'm just having fun and just a bit of free time colouring, I go by the colours. I look at the reds and then pick out the red tones that I want. So we can see just there. So you would then carry on with the wings with the same colourway that I've just done. And obviously we've done the hair. Maybe just use red for the toadstool, and then you would just finish all these parts off. So then all that I just do, I do have one finished that I actually sat and coloured yesterday, but I just want to show you. So I've just taken some pattern paper, so then that could just sit within the middle. And then we're just going to use just a wee stopper there. So that stamp also comes within the stamp set, Make a Wish. And then we could even just pop a bow either there, or you can pop it at the top. It's entirely up to yourself. But even just a wee bit of distressing round the edges, then that's going to just finish it off. If I bring this one in, you can see just finishing off the colour tones that I've done.
Look at that.
And just using the water reactive colours at the
Stunning.
edges. A purple and one of the greens. I think it was grasshopper. But that's all that I've done. So same colourways all the way around. And then only additional bit is I just used the toadstool. But exactly the same, but that's how you've created that.
And do you
one.
get the stars in that stamp set as well?
Those wee stars, they come as well. And they don't come individually. They all come in this nice wee cluster together. So you
Love
don't
it.
have to stamp loads of them out at once.
Right, well listen, you know it doesn't really matter what my opinion is, because the only opinions that count are yours. And Tammy says on Facebook, Craig, I could listen to your voice all day. Robin says, brilliant, Craig. I think you sounded amazing. Bernie on YouTube says, Craig's instructions will have 10 mats and layers.
6 foam pads.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It would be like a wedding cake, wouldn't it? Marianne says, I love everyone on Crafters TV Voices being from New Jersey. And Sonia on YouTube thinks that I could definitely do a bang-up job. Is that like a down with the kids term?
I think so,
A
yeah.
bang-up job. I don't know why I'm doing that. That's because that's not even down with the kids these days, is it? Yeah, Derek could do a bang-up job reading an Audible book. Oh, other audio book services are available, I feel compelled to say. Yeah, I'd quite like to do that, actually. I'd quite like to read somebody's autobiography or something like that. Quite like to write my own one day, actually. Oh, that'd make your hair curl.
Mine would be chapter after chapter.
Yeah. Oh, I could go on and on and on and on and on. Anyway, let me show you some examples from the Over the Edge dies that we've got on the show today, because I've got one of each here. They're absolutely beautiful, I have to say. Really, really nice. I didn't. Do you know what? I came in today not knowing what an Over the Edge die was completely, and I thought, oh, that it's going to be like a peekaboo, but no, it's completely and utterly different because the versatility in these is brilliant. So you have 6 stamps and dies in this bundle. You've got Feline Friends, which is that one. You've got the little doggy ones, which is your paw print, and I love that because one of the dogs is in the bath, and I think that's adorable. Really, really beautiful. You've got Magical Wishes, which is your unicorn, which Craig did an amazing demo on earlier, and there's a lovely example from our lovely Nicola. I always forget when we're showing samples to create our credit our amazing design team who come up with these wonderful samples because they are amazing. This one from Jackie is the what was the name of this one? May Your Day Sparkle. That's a little fairy who's looking for 2021. She knows better things are waiting there. Here's my favourite, which is the one with the balloons on it. I think this one's really, really lovely. This is Birthday Balloons. And then this is the little Tweety birds that Craig was colouring in a wee while ago on the watering can there. And Rachel, our lovely Rachel, who was on the Craft House with us. This is a Rachel Weber card. This one. Beautiful. £46, $66 for all of those. Shall I show you the boards for those as well quickly? Because it will show you how the Over the Edge dies cut as well. So it's worth doing, actually. It's worth us seeing that.
I remember the first time I heard that.
Because I've got 4 of the 6 here. And it just helps to explain how the Over the Edge can work. So it can work to the left, it can work to the right, and it can work and it can pop up from the card as well. And it's all thanks to the dies, and you can see on the die packet it will show you there are 3 dies with each, so it will show you that one, for instance, is cutting the left edge, so that will come out left. You've got the other one which cuts out right, and then you've got the other one which cuts the top of the die generally. I mean, it varies through them, so it means you even if you wanted to cut out the whole thing, you can cut out kind of most of it, sort of 3/4 or more on a lot of the dies, and create that as a separate image if you wanted to as well. But the whole thinking behind these is that they do go over the edge. So your little, dogs or cats or whatever they are come out. So that's the way the dies are designed. So if you want to cut out the whole thing, some of these may overlap each other. What you can do then is die cut them one by one and almost have the entire image, just a little bit of fussy cutting to do. I can't believe, I like it. We're talking like 3-4 weeks later, how all of these things, even if like me, you're an absolute brand new to the whole language of die cutting, let alone, 3 weeks ago, I'd have struggled just with one single die cutting out a word. What does that mean? How do I do that? I'm not brave enough to do that. And now we're looking at edgeables and peekaboos and these, which are over the edge. This is my favorite. I love the one with the balloons on it. It's brilliant. Birthday balloons. And you've also got, excuse me, birds and blooms. Now that's the full bundle of 6 stamps and dies. These are also on a multi-buy as well, which is brilliant. So it's 2 for £20 or $30. Now in that multi-buy, you've got another one which isn't in the bundle, so you've got that to choose from. So whether you're buying them individually, individually versus a multi-buy, you've got to go for the multi-buy every single time, haven't you? Really, it just makes a lot of sense because of the value. So there is another one which isn't in the bundle but is in the multi-buy, and it's called Hello Beautiful, and it's a gorgeous floral, as you can see. which is wonderful. $11.99. Well, let's forget the individual. You can buy them individually, but I would definitely go for a multi-buy, 2 for $20 or $30 in the US. Now, the runaway, I mean, honestly, so many of these have been bought in this show, and I'm not surprised at all, because every time we see any kind of stamping demo that needs accuracy, and let's face it, that's every stamping that you do, really. You want to be accurate and crisp. This is definitely your friend, because it's the 8x8 stamping platform with the magnetic base, with the CC magnets. CC they are, because if I turn that sideways, you can see, look, there it is, Craig. Look, you see, I didn't realise that the Crafter's Companion C's on their side turn into an M or indeed a W, and that's what's on top of the magnets.
Absolutely. Yeah, you've got the logo just there within the two C's. So what I want to just quickly show you before we end, because I can't believe where the time's gone.
I know.
Stamping.
2 hours again.
So I just want to show you why your stamping platform is kind of like genius and something you need to have. So we've got just what would be our normal. This is just our small 4x4 one. Now, Derek, I am absolutely no way am I knocking these ones, because I use these time and time again, and I will continue to use them. However, the point of our stamping base as well as the platform is, so say this is a die cut shape. This is the only bit that you've got. You've got no more until your order arrives. You stamp that on, and then you press, you've not quite got, and you've missed a bit. You've missed that bit. Now, I don't care how long you've been crafting, how long you've been stamping, to get that bang over the top and know that you're going to get that straight over the top without a line. There is no way. Actually, it's like you need 3D glasses or something with that one. It is so hard to actually do that. So when you then take your stamping platform, so let's bring this one back in. So we've got a stamp. Our piece of cards again. This could be die cut piece, matte and layer piece ready to go. It's all that you've got. So pop that down with the magnets. Then all that I'm just going to do is, if I bring my stamp in, so you can either do it two ways. You can line it up. You do have your center point in there, so you can just using the grids line it up. Or alternatively, what you can just do is bringing in your stamp. I'm just getting rid of that ink that was on it. Place your stamp where you want it to go. So let's place it there. Bring in that stamping platform. So press. So that's us now got our stamp in the right place. Let's ink that up. So we're just going to stamp, give that a good coverage. And then once again, we're going to press, and then, I don't know, maybe the dog barked, you got a fright, you didn't put right pressure on, you've missed a bit, the doorbell goes. Actually, that's pretty close. But what I want to show you is we've got the stamped area. Let's say there's a few bits missed. So let's go back. Actually, this is probably even a better demonstration to show you. We've got that perfect stamped image over the top. Cardstock's not moved, the stamp's not moved. We're going to go back over the top and we're going to press, and then you know that you're going to get that stamped image in the exact same part. Look at that. If anything, it makes it bolder.
Beautiful.
Makes it perfect. So that's great for your stand-alone stamps. If you have got your layering stamps, your layering flowers, if you have got your layering background, if you've got your layering stamp and dies, and maybe some new ones coming up in the not too distant future, then this is when your stamping platform is going to be spot on.
Brilliant. And especially as well, if you've got those layering dies, stamps should I say, that's perfect, isn't it? Because if you're using two elements and not another, you've still got to have them all lined up in the same way. Quick question before we go, Craig, because masterclass is like a bit of a clinic, isn't it?
It is.
Of sorts. A clinic we like going to. Cecilia says, Cecilia says, if you colour with alcohol markers, do you have to use Nina for the whole card?
So whatever you are colouring, so you can, if you, let's just say for instance, this isn't Nina, let's say that it is. So you can absolutely just use your Nina as the card blank, stamp straight onto the top. So it can act as a card blank as well if all you're wanting to do is just stamp an image and only an image. However, what you can do is, create your card blank, maybe with your smooth cardstock, your luxury cardstock, whatever it is, stamp your image and maybe just die cut around it. Any colouring, certainly if you do it onto your Nina, if you don't want to do any mats and layers, then just incorporate the Nina as your card blank. But I would always say just use it as a standalone for your stamps.
Fabulous, thank you very much. Now we'll have a quick look at our classics before, I think it's nearly lunchtime for us now. Thankfully, actually, I think we're all ready. We are all ready. Now, there is your classics bundle. Remember, 66 fabulous classics, plus the storage there as well. Really, really lovely selection of colours there as well. So reds, yellows, greens, turquoises, browns, blues, purples, pinks, greys, dark skin, shade and tone. You can have a look at the full selection on the website as you shop the show. Very, very popular bundle as well, because you're saving 30% there by getting that really, really nice broad selection of colours, which is fantastic, plus the storage as well, which is going to keep them nice and tidy. And if you want portable storage, there's plenty of that on the show as well. That is it. Our show is done, Craig. How does 2 hours just whiz by so quickly? How? Tell me that.
In, doesn't it? Before you know it, we're here getting ready, setting up and prepping, and then it's over with. But not over with for the day, because we've got another show coming up later on.
Oh, yes, we have. And it is a special one as well, let me tell you. If you are a fan of foiling, out come the Fs again. There's no flower forming foam this afternoon, I don't think, but there is foiling, and there's a rather cheeky, nifty, natty little deal on the foil press. Should we give them any clues now, Craig, or should we just leave that in the air?
Oh, I don't know. I'll let you decide on that one.
Oh, that's a huge responsibility. Huge responsibility. Well, I tell you what, I've heard a rumour that you can go to the front page of the website. You can look at the Crafters TV schedule. You will see the cartload icon and today's day, which is Thursday. And underneath there's a button that says "Shop the Show." You could go and have a look now. So rumour has it. Anyway, listen, I will let you do that, because as well as the foil press, we have got loads and loads of other goodies as well, let me tell you, including the tape pens and the dotty tape runner, all back in stock. Amazing, amazing, amazing prices. Craig has his hand in the air. Are you shopping?
Well, I'm going to shop the tape pens, that's for sure. But just say as well, we've got some of Sarah's vintage lace collection back.
Yes.
We're going to be using that, but we're going to be foiling with it.
Some fabulous stamps as well. Oh my word, there's so much. Anyway, listen, we are back in 3 hours' time. Thank you for your company. Thank you for all the lovely comments and the lovely left-handers. See you at 4.